Hello everyone, I'm Ellie Paskell and this is Cradle Your Body, Unleash Your Fire, the somatic journey for listening, rest and revolution. We already know how to create the world we want to live in. Our bodies are guiding us with the language of sensation. In this session, you will be supported to hear that body guidance and channel it into your world. Follow impulses and instincts in this space and meet the true you who lives with love, vitality, and fire. I am so happy to have Frances Goodall here today. Hello, Frances.
Hello, and everyone.
Frances is a therapist, coach, trainer, speaker, mother, and the author of You Can Heal Chronic Illness, The Lotus Process, 8 Steps to Health and Happiness. Over 5 years, Frances went from housebound with chronic fatigue to running half marathons, and she's since spent a decade dedicating her life to supporting hundreds of women to recover their health. Frances is a master emotional freedom technique trainer and advanced practitioner, a Gupta amygdala retraining coach, and a health recovery coach specializing in supporting women to heal from chronic illness. Frances is currently training with Layla Martin. Did I say that right?
Yes.
With Layla Martin to be a sex, love, and relationship coach, to add a new focus to her work due to her passion for these areas of life. Awesomeness. So this is a space in which the body's guidance comes first. So we will begin this session now. Very lucky to have Frances is going to guide an embodied practice for us. Frances, would you like to say a little bit about that before we begin?
Sure, yeah. So it's going to be an embodied practice of connecting initially to your body and your breath and your resources and your embodied presence, and then to explore perhaps a part of you that is needing something, maybe some love, maybe belonging, maybe safety, and support, giving resource to that part to help you have a deeper experience of embodied wholeness. And it's informed by internal family systems, the model internal family systems, which I'm trained in. Yeah.
Thank you, lovely. So opening to this experience of embodied wholeness. Yeah. And before we drop in, so that you attending at home know, when Frances has drawn the practice to a close, I'm going to gently take the space holding baton to give all of us, and also Frances, opportunity to drop even more deeply into the body. So you'll hear that voice change there. Wonderful.
Great. Thanks, Ellie. Let's go. Yeah, so I invite you all to close your eyes if they're not already closed, and to find yourself in a comfortable position. And actually, you might want to, before you close your eyes, either decide to sit with your spine upright but relaxed, or you can also lie if that feels right for your body right now. You could also stand as well. There's many ways we can practice. And so taking a moment to find your position and closing your eyes again if they're not already, and bring your awareness into your body. And to help you do that, you might like to take a moment to scan your body from the crown of your head and slowly down all the little muscles around your eye sockets, and let them soften the whole of your head, your forehead, temples, your cheeks, and your jaw. Perhaps opening and closing your mouth a couple of times to really let your jaw relax. Scanning down your neck and throat, and your shoulders, your upper arms, elbows, lower arms, down to your palms, hands, and down each finger, the fingertips and your thumbs and your thumb tips. Just really taking the time to really inhabit your body. The whole of your torso, including your spine, your upper, mid and lower back. And your chest, diaphragm area and your belly. Inhabiting your body with a soft, kind awareness. And the whole of your pelvis area. And your upper legs, knees, lower legs. Right the way down to your ankles and your feet, the soles and the tops of your feet, all the way down each toe. And taking a moment to really inhabit the whole of your body with awareness, and to notice your breath going in and out of your body. And you might like to explore, imagine sending a smile through the whole of your body, from the crown of your head to the tips of your toes. And perhaps having a gentle smile at your lips. And feeling the connection of your body with the chair or floor beneath you. Take a moment to contact your heart area. To see if you can feel any spaciousness in your heart area. Perhaps even a feeling of love. And now start to scan your body with curiosity, with kindness, perhaps particularly the areas from the throat down to the lower belly, right down to the root of your body, and seeing if any areas particularly seem to call for your attention. You might find a knot somewhere, some tension. You might discover some clear feelings residing in your body. See if you can open your compassionate heart to whatever is present for you, and see if there's a part of you that's emerging from your body that wants some love, that wants some attention of some kind. And have a sense of the sensation quality that is there. Perhaps the kind of feelings that this part of you has. And you could internally ask this part of you if there's anything it needs to show you or tell you about what it's holding. Just taking a moment to listen, to be present with this part. Maintaining an awareness of the present moment. Of your heart. Of your essential embodied wholeness. As you meet this part, as you listen. You could explore putting your hands over the part of your body that you feel this part. And again, with your hands meeting this part with presence. Not trying to change or fix whatever is there, just meeting with kindness. Meeting with curiosity. You could explore asking this part of you what it most wants right now, what it most needs right now. For example, it might be wanting love. It might be wanting to feel safe. It might be wanting to feel a sense of belonging. And just listen and see and ask this part what it wants, what it most needs. And you could ask this part how it's going to most feel that need being met. For example, if it's wanting to feel safe, it might want to be taken to a really safe place, that this part would feel really safe. Maybe some beautiful nature scene. Maybe it wants to be surrounded by light. Maybe it simply wants to be embraced with a hug. Or maybe this part wants to move and express something through the body. Maybe it needs the freedom to do that. Just inviting whatever is needed. Staying in touch with this part. And noticing how you're feeling towards this part. And if you're ever not feeling in some way compassionate towards it, then there might be another part that's come in that might need attention instead, or might be willing to give you the space so that you can really be with the part you started with. And you can check with your system what's needed. so that the part of you that most needs attention right now is left in a really safe space. You might want to just check if it needs anything else right now from you. And when I say from you, I mean from your love, from your embodied wholeness, from your bigger self, your truer self. Does this part need anything else in order to feel perhaps safe or loved? Or to feel some more of whatever it needs? And thanking this part of you for anything that this part has revealed to you, shared with you. And for any ways it might be trying to protect you or keep you safe. And thanking all parts of you that gave you access to this part today as well. And slowly coming back to a fuller awareness again of the whole of your body, from the crown of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. Taking some breaths. Feeling your heart center. And you might want to put one hand on your heart area and one hand on your belly area. And Ellie, in your own time, I hand over to you.
So, whatever shape you find yourself in at this moment, I invite you to deepen into it, to allow your felt sense to really drop down into the roots of your body. So maybe you want to keep your hands and your body in the shape it's in. Maybe you want to release that. You might even want to bring some movement. And as you're here in this body at this moment, allow yourself to feel those places where you are supported by the ground, the furniture. Essentially, you are held by Mother Earth, and let her hold you 10% more. Perhaps particularly noticing your exhales now. And as you're here in this body, notice gently what is alive here. Perhaps you'll notice how your body feels different to how it did 15 minutes ago. What's alive for you here? Just letting it be. And as you're here with your body, the sensation, tuning into what came up for you in that beautiful practice. Whether it was particular body parts or parts of your being that came to the fore. Whether it was something more general than that, taking a breath with that and opening to what guidance this has for you. What guidance did this part have for you when you welcomed it? Not allowing any logic to dissolve, coming back to your felt sense with great kindness. And we'll move gently now into the interview portion of this session. And as this happens and there's more words, I invite you to stay in touch with your felt sense, with these parts of you from the inside out in whatever way feels good to you. I will be doing what I need to keep in touch with my body, whether that's allowing my eyes to close or gentle movements. And I invite you to let your somatic imagination fly outside the box here and do what you need for your body. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ellie.
Yeah. Yeah, it was beautiful to sink into that practice, Fran. And I'm curious, for those participating at home, if something arose for them, whether it's a particular body part that had a sensation or something to say, or part of the psyche, however it arose for them that needed something or wanted something, can you give any advice to them about how they might take that experience and tend to what came up in their life? So not just in the meditation, but how one might, channel that into their more worldly being.
Thank you. So I suppose that the part might have something that is needing to change in the external world, or in terms of like relationships and perhaps boundaries, or needs that can be supported with other kinds of practices like connecting with nature, or in other ways. So I suppose being really attentive to what that part was saying. For instance, recently I have got in touch with a part of me that I hadn't been fully attending to, and it's led me to some realizations for some more boundaries that I need in a particular relationship in my life, and find ways to communicate those and put them in place and change things a little bit. So I think with great curiosity for parts in the body, and of course as well, we can bring these parts to practitioners who can help us to maybe go deeper with it, help us to explore it deeper. Often there's parts of our system, well, most of us I think have got some level of trauma, so there might be layers of protection in the system, but underneath it all there's often, or underneath layers, there is parts that are holding trauma, and those parts might need some deeper unburdening and relief in order to create a deep shift in the system, more energy flow, more life force flow, healing from perhaps energy problems or emotional issues or anxiety, that sort of thing. So that might be also worth considering for some people. It depends on what
thank you for that. And I think when I hear you speak of that and this word layers, it brings me to mind of how our bodies are these incredible cabinets which hold things and hold experience. And so I think this is the magic of the practice that you guided, and also any somatic work that one can say feel blocked or lost or confused, like maybe you've had a really busy day or just feeling disconnected, and come in and notice one body part, for example, that is tense, and spend a little bit of time with it and suddenly realize, oh, actually that energy, when I give space to it, there's anger there and I'm angry at that person and I need to put a boundary in place. And it can be this unworded language which speaks more of our truth than anything up here.
Absolutely. Definitely. And there can be such power and energy and life force that can come by contacting that part, listening to it, making changes, maybe sometimes moving, like doing some dance, or even just going out for a run or something. There's lots of things can make a difference. But,
Right. Yeah. I love those words there. Yeah. Energy and life force. And it brings me to what I would love to know a bit more about. Obviously you've recovered from chronic fatigue, and this is one of those chronic illnesses which oftentimes the doctors will diagnose and then say, and there's nothing, we can't, there's nothing to be done, we don't have a pill. Or I would love to hear a bit about your journey with healing through that, and what it taught you, and that good stuff.
It's starting to feel like such a long time ago now, but from age 19 to 24, I'm 37 now. I was not well at all, on and off, quite badly unwell at times in my bed, not really able to get out of bed or not able to get off the sofa, sometimes for days on end. And the journey involved lots of different things, but for instance, developing a meditation practice, a yoga practice, changing my diet significantly, exploring various kinds of body work and healing techniques, and lots of different things. And during that journey, I'd have times where I felt like my energy was coming back and I was healing, and then I'd crash again. I was really, really, really up and down. But I also started to have quite a lot of deep sort of spiritual unfolding in meditation practice. I started to have lots of energy flowing through my body, and it would lead to these states varying between ecstatic joy and feeling physically well, to crashing down and feeling depressed and unwell and a mess. So it took a while to sort of really work through, I'd say, the different layers that were going on in my system, the different personality traits that were kind of ways of perhaps avoiding feeling some of the deeper layers, like overly caretaking other people, helping other people, being overly empathic, or as soon as I got a bit of energy, thinking I needed to do lots of things to prove my worth or start working towards some life goals, achieving in some way. So yeah, I had to do a lot of work to really come into balance, and then to be able to maintain that balance moving forwards. And
yeah. I love hearing you talk about that, the ebb and the flow of the journey and the finding of the balance, and that experience of sometimes the energy felt like, and then sometimes it would come back down. What would you say to someone if they're riding anything like that at the moment?
I'd say one of the key things is to trust that you're on a journey, and that this is gonna change and gonna get better. To have faith in your system's inherent ability to heal and to be whole and to have energy flow. That our systems want us to be well, our life energy wants us to be well. And to have trust in that, and to keep on the journey, and I would say, for me, I've done deep dive into my psyche and my body to support healing on many levels, and that's carried on since I've been well. And it's like the more I go, the more energy and life force I have, the older I get, in a way. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's beautiful. And it's just love seeing your smiley face as you talk about that. And I love the word trust. And how, did you say the body wants you to be well, or the universe wants? Do you remember?
I feel like our deeper inherent wisdom wants us to be, our deeper inherent beings. Like, we've got this innate potential for wellness and for energy flow. And it's often, I know there are certain diseases that are, I don't know, more genetic and complicated than that. But for a lot of, say, for example, chronic illness or depression, or a lot of things that we're experiencing as human beings, can be majorly transformed by doing, I would say, deeper emotional work, deeper healing work. Often I feel like my experience certainly has been, and many of the clients I work with, we're often carrying stuff for past generations, for the collective. But as we start to tap into our, I don't know, I suppose our more real life force energy, our more true self, we've got this inherent capacity for wellness and life force and energy and flow and joy and pleasure and
yeah. And hearing you say it, I'm like, this is what comes through me over and over. This is, the body will inherently come back to health. This is what she wants, and there's always capacity for it to do that. And that's what the forces of this incredible, unfathomable planetary world flow us with, I think, as well. And I think that's a beautiful message at this time in 2020, when the world can feel so movable and upside down, this point of the body, and I think the whole of the universe, is always moving back to the word health, but wholeness. Again, this whole piece, this, to heal means to make whole. And if we trust and allow things to just flow with joy and with following the body, and again, that word trust, then stuff unfolds in beautiful ways, because that's the natural way of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'd love to know if this, again, this wholeness, this sense of embodied wholeness, what role that played or plays in your life on your journey of healing. If, for example, we've talked about this before, I know for myself with my journey of healing, it's a constant part of going, well, actually, I'm suppressing that emotion right now, and that's why I've got that block in my body. So it's welcoming this other part of me back, welcoming my shy part, welcoming my angry part. Well, at the moment, it feels like welcoming the part of me which often just feels like a mess, because and just being like, all right, that's how you feel. And the more I do this, the more vibrancy my body has.
Yeah, I mean, the more, yeah, it's very similar to me as well. The more I embrace anything that's going on in myself, the more I would experience natural wholeness and energy flow and joy. And whenever I'm not experiencing that, it's often like, say, I'm premenstrual and there's some emotion or something important coming up that I need to look at, and a part of me is trying to avoid it, or thinking, no, I should have got all my stuff sorted out by now. I've done decades of work on myself now, and almost 2 decades of work. I should be all sorted out, but like, okay, there's another piece coming through that I need to heal, whatever it is, childhood, ancestral, past life, collective, whatever it is. It's something.
Yeah, I love that. Go on.
Yeah, and for me as well, feeling anger and letting that flow has been absolute key for my life force energy, my flow, my power, my health, my wellness.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wonder if there's any like words of encouragement you could give to anyone watching, if they're like, I'm really angry, but I feel like anger makes me a bad person, so I just try not to feel it.
Yeah, well, I'd just say, I mean, I suppose it's what we do with the anger, isn't it? I mean, I can say that I haven't always skillfully dealt with anger myself, in terms of relationships with other people, in part because I feel like I was never probably taught to do anger. As a child, I was told you don't get angry, and I never felt anger until I started to heal from chronic fatigue, and it was like, whoa, what's all this? What am I feeling? What do I do with this big feeling? And I all wanted to come out with my boyfriend, out on my boyfriend at that particular time, but I was like, can't do that. Yeah, I mean, there are other ways of letting that energy flow through us. We can go out into nature and scream if we've got a safe space to do that. We can stamp our feet on the earth, and we can. One shamanic teacher told me to hit a stick with a rock, so that helps discharge the energy much more than pillows, apparently. Do different ways of letting that energy flow, move through. Sometimes, sounding feels really important for my system, like letting some sounds through. And it doesn't have to involve, the other person. You can deal with it as much as you can yourself. And then there might be a conversation to be had with someone, but at least if you've discharged some of that energy, it's not going to, you're not going to dump all of the, say, past life or collective feminine rage onto one person who's not necessarily what to do with that person.
You did this to me.
Or whatever it is,
Yeah, thank you. That's great. I think so much of what you said there speaks to the piece of there can be so much energy in the anger emotion, and it's important for so many reasons to allow the body to feel and to process it. And it's also this image that I often have, which is, here is my body and here is my emotion, and I cradle myself sometimes with a lot of fire and grounding to freaking learn how to feel it. Like, okay, apparently this is anger, so like you said, I'm going to take myself into the woods to feel it. I'm going to get energy in my body to line up. I'm going to scream into whatever it is. And then learning, it's kind of like a dance for me, learning how to go, this is in my body. Like, say it pops up and I'm in the middle of the supermarket for some reason, right? And I'm like, all right, here, this is in my body, and I'm going to stay with my awareness in my body so that I don't block it and end up with a migraine, because that's when my body, that's what I used to do.
Yeah.
So keeping that awareness, that interoception, feeling inwards, whilst also allowing my adult woman to be present with the cashier. And I've learned that it's very different from suppression or acting, because I'm fully allowing myself to feel it.
Yeah.
Having this one who's in the world going, I'll contain it as my own.
Absolutely. Containment is key, isn't it? Yeah, and in containment, and maybe there's moments where we're less contained, but having those safe spaces to do that. And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it feels really prevalent to say as well that like when you're in that safe space, the invitation to let it be a mess, like let your fire out, like let your dragon be there, because it will replenish your body.
Yeah.
And I know obviously you do a lot of work with a healing women's circle, and I'm curious how the importance you feel of that for this like becoming whole, this healing, this embodied wholeness piece?
Yeah, I feel it can really support that. I mean, I was going to say a moment before, and for me, that was one of the spaces where I felt safe to, you know, a group of women would go out to the woods at different ceremonies through the year, and sometimes like a big piece of rage or, you know, collective stuff would come through me, and it'd be like, in that safe space, I would suddenly scream or something, and also feel the holding of the circle as well. So that's been an incredible container for me, which is one of the reasons that I felt really inspired to co-found the Women's Wellness Circle a few years ago to support women on a healing journey from chronic illness has been a focus for many years, although we might be evolving that in time. But the power of women gathering together in a conscious way, in a safe way, can be just very powerful. And I think men's circles can be equally powerful as well. And I know there's a lot of great men's work out there. I know less about that, but yeah, I think, you know, in a circle, women get a chance to express and work through what's going on for them. And often, you know, you bounce off each other's process and get something from each other's process and each other's growth and learning and evolution. So yeah, really, really powerful support for experiencing more and more wholeness. And yeah.
And I want to honor your work with the creation of the Women's Wellness Circle as well, because it's a beautiful thing. And I echo that piece of being witnessed and held in the presence of other women is really powerful. And particularly as well when there can be so many, I'll speak for myself, stories of whether it's, again, ancestral, like lineage, or from this life, the piece of mistrust of other women, or am I safe with them, or competition, and having that experience of, wow, these are my sisters.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. Yeah. Sisterhood feels really important to me, and really key. And absolutely, and really powerful. Healing can come through that, through maybe at first feeling resistant, or it bringing up stuff, but then actually having an embodied experience of safety and connection, and can really bring some deep healing.
And again, that piece of wholeness, because that togetherness, that tribe, beautiful. And I know that you've got a free gift that attendees can receive, so maybe you could tell us a bit about that.
Well, on the Women's Wellness Circle website, there is, it's always changing, to be honest, but there's a Reclaim Your Health course, which is about healing on the level of the body, mind, emotions, and soul, and practices for each stage as well. So that's womenswellnesscircle.com. I've also got my personal website, which has also got something on it as well, which is francisgoodall.com.
So that will be in your bio, and then tell me again the title of the course on the Women's Wellness Circle page.
Reclaim Your Health.
Reclaim Your Health. Wonderful. If this is something that resonates, may you click, may you receive, may you heal further, my tweet. Okay, gorgeousness. So before we close, I'm going to invite us all to just drop back into the body and feel in. But before I do that, Francis, thank you so much. Thank you for bringing the energy of your powerful journey to wholeness to this space.
Thank you for having me, Ellie. It's been wonderful to connect with you, and
it's a total pleasure.
Share with everyone here.
Okay, everyone. So I invite you to take a breath. So maybe you want to allow your eyes to close. Maybe you want to let them rest with a soft gaze. Perhaps bring a hand or two to the heart space, one to the belly, and simply connecting in again to the place where your body meets its support, that gentle pressure between yourself, the furniture, the ground. Landing into that realm of sensation again. Seeing what is alive in this realm. And allowing those words, embodied wholeness, to fall into your body and see how they land. Are there parts of you that you would like to reclaim? Can you take a breath with this incredible, multi-layered being that you are, and let all of its sensations be and dance? Perhaps let them take up 10% more space. And so it is. Thank you so much, Francis.
Thank you, Ellie. Thank you so much.
Go gently, everyone.